Is it on now? All right. Well, that was a little bit of a. Thought I'll have issues connecting.
Sorry.
So anyway, hello everybody. Thanks for tuning in. My name is David Hamm, and I'm a NASCAR Engine Builder 25 years and 7 years Jackman. This is my wife Tracy.
Hello.
And we just got done over at the Tom Dooley rehearsal, so I had to run back here, and we're over at their radio studio now at WAME. But this is what I was rehearsing for. So if you're wondering why my hair's getting a little scraggly and this right here, it's because I'm going to be in character again. Captain Jack. Well,
all right.
Just Jack Atkins. So anyway, welcome to the live NASCAR chat with Ham and
Mrs. Ham.
I am T Ham on YouTube. You can subscribe to her channel also, but subscribe to this channel for every Monday night. I have the NASCAR chats. It's starting at 7:30 p.m. So in this video, we're going to talk about the Pennzoil 400 from Vegas, and we're going to talk about who won the race, as you all know. But very exciting for another Ford victory 2 weeks in a row. This time with Logano, and we had Keselowski last week at Atlanta. So the Fords are on a roll. So can everybody hear me okay? And so we got Rachel and Terry. Is Tom on there yet?
Anthony.
Linda Jinx, and hey Anthony, my brother Anthony. And all right, good deal. So we had
Rachel can hear us.
All right, we had a 1-2 finish at Vegas with Logano leading Brad Keselowski, and I'm sure y'all saw the very end of the race where there was like a drag race to the finish. For a second there, I thought Brad was going to get up there and pass him, but it ended up working out just fine with Joey winning. And so anyway, I'll give you a little quick tour. We've got a little bit of a. All right, so here's our Chillbilly banner.
Robert Alejandro's on. Nicholas Rolando's on.
And here's the rest of the studio. Got some work going on in here right now.
Upgrades.
That's right. Got some upgrades going on, I guess, right? Some computer stuff. Got the engineer in here doing
You're on
some
YouTube,
wiring.
by the way.
All right. There you go. All right. So I've had a little bit of an exhausting day. Did some CrossFit and then ran home, changed clothes, went to Tom Dooley, or came here and then went to Tom Dooley, and
now we're back.
Now we're back. Hope everybody had a great day. Happy Taco Tuesday Eve is what I'm gonna start calling Mondays. I'll tell you what, taco sounds really good right now.
I'm hungry too.
But speaking of food, we got chicken biscuits today because we won the race again, and that's pretty much our standard deal. When we win a race, we get chicken biscuits. And here's my race winner hat right here, signed by Joey and Todd Gordon and Doug Yates. That's right. And this was my lucky pole hat, because I just got this the other day from the guys over at Stuart Haas. And then
pretty
guess
nice.
who got the pole?
Looks like it might fit me.
Well, you can wear it. At least you got her readers on.
Yeah.
Your eyes are magnified.
Does it look magnified in here?
Granny.
No.
Hey, Granny.
You wear glasses too, so stop.
Look at this watch. This little wrist. I need to get her another band, I think. It's one of those Samsung watches.
The Galaxy.
Yeah, the old Galaxy Samsung. All right, so let's see here. We got to go over some of the race stuff that happened at Vegas. So I was going to ask you all, what do you think about some of the pit? Some of the stuff that happened in the pits with the crew member that put his hand down and they got penalized for having an extra guy over the wall. I think that was the 42 crew, if I'm not mistaken. But the guy leans over pit road, and who knows what he was getting away from, but he lost his balance. he puts his hand on pit road, and then the 42 got penalized for an extra man over the wall. So any comments on that? Do you think that was too harsh? Do you think that's the deal where the rule's a rule? So let me know what you think about that. And there was it was him and another car had also got a pit road penalty, I believe, for another too many men over the wall. And then there was a lot of speeding penalties. But going through the race, we had Harvick won the first stage. He led the most laps with 90 laps in the books and finished. He ended up finishing 4th place. We had two Fords. Two Fords are in the playoffs now because we got Logano and Keselowski, like I mentioned earlier. But the top 5 in the race was Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, and Kurt Busch. So there was 5 in the top 10. There was 5 Fords, 3 Toyotas, and 2 Chevys.
He can't be still, y'all.
I can't be still, but the other thing is, I put a hat on, but these lights in here are kind of like heat lamps. So if you ever see me on the Facebook Lives, it's like I'm being cooked by these heat lamps. I just had to go turn the air conditioning on. So anyway.
He can't handle it.
Yeah, so y'all go ahead and put your questions out here. They got any questions coming in?
Not yet.
All right, and I got to go through some of the notes that
Linda
I had.
Jinx says they weren't touching the car.
Yeah, that's one thing. If you're not touching the car, I can't say that I completely understand just touching pit road like that. That to me, that's sort of like, I mean, you could say that, if there's a football game going on and the guy touches his foot out of bounds, but that's like a whole different ball game, so to speak. But I don't really see the issue with a crew member touching pit road. But you know what? They put the rules out there, and they said that was the rules stated. I have it written down here somewhere.
Rachel says, "What was the rule when you were a Jackman?
You cannot contact pit road. When I was a Jackman, at first there wasn't any. Shoot, I think we could have like 13 men over the wall or something. It was, you didn't really have that. I mean, okay. So eventually it was, I think we had 10 or it was 8 over the wall. That's what I remember, it being 8 over the wall, because you had the Jackman, 2 tire carriers, 2 tire changers, and the gas man, and you had a catch can man. Then you had a guy that could hand the water bottle in or whatever. So there was the 8th man. But during the race, the official would come around and say you can have the 8th guy, because normally there were 7 of us. And then they would always come by near the beginning of the race before the first stop and go ahead and give us permission to have the 8th man. And then they did away with the catch can man eventually. And so that was later on after I was out of it. But yeah, so that was pretty much it. I mean, the first year I jacked, I traveled in 95. My first year as a Jackman was in 96, and that was with Kyle Petty, also as in 95. But they would throw the tires at the Jackman, and we could leave them out there. Well, then the next year they said you have to bring the tires back. So they would throw the tires the other way, and then I would take one and pull one off the right rear and roll it to the wall, stuff like that. So
RD's on.
RD Ford.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's up, RD?
He's traveling, he says.
He's what?
Traveling.
Oh, traveling. Okay. So did I say in the top 5 we had 5 Fords, 3 Toyotas, 2 Chevys? So if anybody was complaining about the field, I know I've already seen some on Twitter. There's some people complaining about cheating and this and that, but I think the field was pretty well evened out. Even Todd Gordon he said on Twitter, he said that there was 19 lead, and Todd Gordon is Joey Logano's crew chief. He said he had already heard some of the people complaining, which is one of the reasons he don't like getting on Twitter. But he said there are 19 leads, changes among 9 drivers, and 4 top cars finished within 2 seconds on a 100-lap green flag run. The 22 battle was the 4, the 18, the 1, and the 2 all day. So, I mean, you can't get much closer than that and much more competitive than that between all the manufacturers. So we just happened to be be there in the right place at the right time for the win. Kyle Busch had a little bit of bad luck with some issues in the pits, but it's a part of it. It's the total package, and that's what it takes to win the race. So I was going to ask you a question. What year was the first race run at Las Vegas? Does anybody know the answer to that? This is the quiz segment.
Trivia time.
Yeah.
Somebody says 1999.
That's close. Very close. That's Nick Rolando out of Orlando, Florida. What's up, Nick?
Jay's World says 2004. Wait, no. I can read that.
Yeah, Nick said, wait, no.
See, now look who's talking about glasses.
Glasses.
Grandpa glasses. What up, big dog? Nick says.
Yeah, Nick's down in Orlando, Florida. We're going to have to head on down there. Well, we're going to be in Florida next.
Super Jason says,
actually.
We're going to be in Daytona Beach in 3 weeks.
Yeah, so Nick might come over and see us. So the answer to that question was, and I was there for the first, I'm just going to go ahead and say
Rachel says 97. She's
close. We're kind of splitting the difference there because it's 97 and 98. All right, the first cut, okay, I'll just go back to the Truck Series was in 1996. The first year in the Truck Series. And then 1998 was the first Cup race. And so the next question is, who won the first Cup race? And the other thing, that's not the first race there. You will be totally surprised at the first race on the what is it, a 1,200 acre complex. But the actual first race was in 1972.
David was just 1 year old.
Yes. So 47 years ago. I saw that stat and I said, 47? Wait a minute, I'm 47. But then again, I'm 48.
Super Jason says you guys need to come to Texas Motor Speedway.
I've been to Texas.
Todd Morris says 98.
Okay, yeah, so 98 was but the real deal, 1972, it was a drag strip and a road course, believe it or not.
Not that kind of drag strip.
And then, yes. And in 1985, it was a 3/8 mile oval. See, I didn't know all this. I've been to Vegas many times, but never realized that. And then in 1996 was the truck race, and it's a 20-degree banking asphalt. 1998 run first Cup race there.
Paul Rodriguez
and I was there for that.
Kyle Larson called out the 48 team for cheating.
And later
in the week, he apologized, saying he was just kidding.
Yes, I heard that, and I'm pretty sure that was probably a PR deal. Because that's what happens a lot of times. The drivers will say things out of the heat of the moment, and then once they think about it, or once their team owners talk to them, then they decide, well, maybe I better change that.
Tom Zone, Elvis and Tracy.
Yeah, the other one was turn this way just a little bit. The other one was the.
Oh, you're pushing me away.
Yeah, there we go. The other one was.
Get away.
All right, what was I talking about?
I don't know. I got distracted. You pushing me.
Oh, the other one was it Dan Benedetto? I always have trouble saying his name. And what he had said about being. All right, anyway, that's another one.
Something about cheating.
Yeah, there was
PR
a couple of drivers this week that said things that they ended up taking back because they figured out maybe they better not say that. And that's what happens. That's part of the sport. That's what keeps it interesting. So
Terry says Kyle even went as far as to apologize face-to-face with Mr. Hendrick.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there'll be plenty more apologies going on throughout the rest of the season.
What's the formulas on your shirt?
This is the formula for horsepower. It basically turns the formula for torque, engine torque, into a horsepower formula.
Whatever.
Basically into an electrical formula. So that's what it is, horsepower. See on the back, it's
RoushYates Engines. That's all it says.
Yeah, that's one of the shirts they were selling. So it's for sale on RoushYates.com.
There you go.
And in case y'all didn't see this,
have one.
I know some of you just tuned in. There's the Tom Dooley project. That's why I'm looking scruffy right now.
Oh, Joey.
Yeah. So I just have to get the, what do you call those hats? The derby hat.
Derby, yeah.
I'll be getting
Is
my
it derby or
derby
derby?
hat back on. And I'm sure Tom's probably going to want to see this. Signed by Todd Gordon, Doug Yates, and Joey Logano. But Tom likes
Paul
that.
Rodriguez says Burrito.
My lucky
I
qualifying
don't
hat.
know what that is.
Was you talking about
Paul
Happy
Rodriguez.
Taco Tuesday Eve? Oh, Dan, you're probably talking about Dan Benedetto, I'm assuming.
I don't know. I can't figure out what that is.
Rachel, that's what I get for working on those teams. We'll get some nice hats. And I guarantee you, when I see nice hats, I'm scarf them up every chance I get. And then when the drivers come in, I always make sure I get them signed. Sure do. Is there any more questions?
Not yet.
All right.
Linda Jinx says Matt. Yeah.
Dan Benedetto. So Kyle Busch finished fifth. Well, I was talking about him earlier. He's the pit strategy called by Matt McCall, the first lap, 5 at Vegas. Oh, Kurt Busch. I was like, that don't even sound like Kyle. Kurt Busch finished fifth, and this is kind of hard to believe because he drove for us for Ford for many years. We won a championship with him in 2004, but his best finish at Las Vegas was fifth in 2005, and now he finished fifth again. That's his hometown track, so you'd really think that he would. But they did some pit strategy call by Matt McCall, his crew chief, and they pitted late, so they were able to stay out with those with the tires. And that's one of the things with this new package. At that track, the tires lasted longer. The track's not as abrasive as Atlanta, so the tires weren't getting tore up quite as much. So,
Rachel says some people thought Brad was being too nice to Joey. She thought Joey was racing hard, but clean. Your thoughts?
I think he was racing his teammate clean because right there at the end, he got really close to his back bumper. And if it had been anybody else, he probably would have put the little bumper on him.
Little
my opinion
rub.
on it. Yeah, because Brad's out there to win, just like Joey, and that was a situation where they very easily could have given him a little bump and run, or gotten his rear quarter, and then went by and took the air off, or any of that kind of stuff. Yep. So I saw the interview with Joey after the race, and then I was going to ask y'all what you thought about the burnout that Joey did for the Pennzoil. It was the Vegas Pennzoil 400 race. So it was fitting that he was in the Pennzoil car, sponsored by Pennzoil, and the race was sponsored by Pennzoil with the big Pennzoil 400 logo down there on the infield. Did you see the burnout?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was pretty big. He of course, he's gotten really good at doing the drifting and stuff here lately. I don't know if y'all seen any of his videos, but he's been doing a lot of that and doing some big smoky burnouts. And he said he was just showing off some of his skills. But he also said he had to get down there and do a little burnout on the Pennzoil 400.
Paul Rodriguez says Matt Benedetto. Is that how you say it? Benedetto?
Yeah, something like that.
Had a cooking booth at a race, and he went by the funny name of Matt the Burrito.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay. Matt the Burrito.
Since you made fun of my glasses, I'm trying to read without them.
Oh, we'll put them back on. Shoot. So also, Joey was talking about how, we had some of the reporters asking him questions about, about cheating and different things like that. And he basically, this is what he said. He said, people like to talk negative, but there's a lot of good things happening because we're working together, meaning NASCAR and the drivers, everybody's working together to try to make the sport better, to make it come back around, make it stronger. And the fans, he says the fans are going to benefit from that. And I totally agree. He said also they were racing side by side after 100 laps. And he's like, what else do you want? He said it's just trolls on Twitter. And I agree. You can't please everybody. And there's a lot of people that are going to have negative things to say, but you know what? At the end of the day, we all enjoy the sport. We want to watch it. We want to make it better. You know, so that's what we got to do. Pull together and just make it positive. Make positive comments, positive posts. If you got ideas to make the sport better, then throw them out there. But I think NASCAR is doing a good job.
Paul says, saw the drifting Joey did with Vince Griffin
Oh,
Jr.
yeah.
He did a good job. All right, that's it. I got to put my
Yeah,
glasses
that
on.
was he was going around and around with the fence and stuff.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Certainly.
absolutely.
Come
Come
on.
on in here.
Introduce yourself.
My name's Mike. I'm a radio engineer here in the Charlotte area. I'm building studios for Billy Buck here. Oh, that changed.
Yeah, there you go.
NASCAR
I wanted to
tradition.
ask, when they do those burnouts, does it do any kind of damage to the engines or anything?
It does sometimes because we get usually it's in the clutches and the crankshaft will get really hot, and then sometimes they actually get the engine really hot, and that's when you start seeing the steam or the water shooting out
Right.
of the overflow.
Good.
Okay.
That means they've gotten the engine really hot because they're they're burning it up basically.
Right.
I mean,
So
and
it
then-
really does damage the engine. in
It
some
does.
aspects. So,
Yeah.
But the engine's wasted at that point anyway. Don't they break them down at the end of the race?
Well, yeah, after they win now, yeah, but yeah, basically so.
Okay.
So they've gotten a little bit easier on doing it because of the pressures and because of how expensive it is for the engine and stuff. And we're actually, I was going to say we're actually running the engines again, but then again, whenever we win, those engines can come off of our rotation because we have to run so many sealed long blocks to kind of keep the cost down on totally rebuilding engines. So in the past, we always would rebuild the engine after every race, tear it down, rebuild it. Well, now they're getting to where we don't have to do that every race. You actually have to run a certain number of races with the engine still together. We can change certain parts of the engine, valve springs, things
Trying
like
to
that
get as
that are
much
going to
usage
break.
out of it as you can.
But they're trying to get as much use out of it as can, and they make it a rule for everybody. That way, it does sort of keep the cost down.
Hey, beer man.
Sport wide.
Okay.
But we got let's say Brad Keselowski, he did a serious burnout. I don't remember where it was. I think it was last year, and we got the engine back, took it apart, and the crankshaft was just totally black on the back part of it.
Wow.
So a lot of that heat transferred from
Right.
riding the clutch and stuff like that. So.
Wow. Okay. I was just wondering.
Yeah, that's a
fun to
good
do it,
question.
though.
Thank
That's-
you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good question. What did you say, Teresa?
I said that'd be awesome to be able to do a burnout.
Oh, the burnout like that? Yeah.
Yeah. So Linda Jink says, do you see much difference in racing with the new package?
Yeah, I do actually see a lot of difference. It actually kind of reminds me of back in the day when you can actually do more racing instead of what they've been doing over the past several years or for years now is you've had a lot of the draft, in the mix.
Let me see that hat.
And so, but now they're able to get up side by side. I mean, they got some 4-wide restarts at times, and you can actually see the car. There you go. The air bouncing around on the hood of the car is just doing this, and then the roof flap or the roof flaps or the hood flaps coming up a little bit on their own because of how much air is being moved around. You got a lot more downforce on the rear. I haven't seen as much of. I know they still say taking the air off the rear quarter and stuff, but I haven't. It's just a lot of downforce, which is keeping the tires planted down on the ground on the track more. So they're able to move around a good bit more. So I think the racing is actually looking pretty good so far. You had Atlanta that was rough on tires with the abrasive surface, and you had Vegas that there was only 3. It wasn't even a caution. It was like 3 pit segments, whatever, because of the different segments.
Redneck engineering here.
Oh yeah. You can use this one and just change the snapback on it if you want.
All right.
So we got Scott joining us in from Florida.
Daytona.
He's down in Daytona. He said it's warm down there. I believe I saw him said that. Send some of that warmth this way, because I know it's supposed to be it's gonna be cold tonight.
So Super Jason says he doesn't know zip on NASCAR. He just knows he likes it. But
Yeah.
you know what? That's okay because David can teach you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it for a long time, 25 years now. So, and I spent 7 years going to the racetrack and jacking for Kyle Petty, Sterling Marlin, Jody Nemechek, Robbie Gordon, a bunch of different people. And then in the Busch Series, I jacked for Nemechek and Sterling Marlin.
It's 27
So-
in Texas? Shoot, I wouldn't expect that.
27 degrees in Texas right now.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be down in the. It's supposed to be in the teens tonight.
It's supposed to be 29 or 30 tonight.
Yeah.
By the time I get up. RD Ford says he can't wait till spring. Love
Got
the
that
Ford
right.
Mustangs.
Yeah, the Ford Mustang's doing really good. As a matter of fact, it's let's see. I was going to read this quote from Doug Yates. It's great to celebrate another win with a Ford performance, and see Team Penske, Stewart Haas Racing, and Roush Fenway Fords finish in the top 10. And also from Ford, the Ford Mustangs went into the lead in the Vegas race. A total of 208 laps out of the 267 lap race by 5 different drivers. Harvick led 89 laps, Logano 86 laps, Keselowski 17 laps, and Daniel Suarez 12 laps, and Ricky Stenhouse 5 laps. Which brings me to another point. I think Stenhouse is really going to be good this year. And I've been saying it ever since Atlanta. Well, before Atlanta. I said that for Daytona because I was thinking that this is his style of driving. And I know I said this the last time, and I said it last Thursday night on their sports show right here in the studio, that Stenhouse likes the kind of driving where you could flat-foot it all the way around the track. He won 2 championships in the Xfinity Series by flat-footing it in that style of driving. So I think that he's going to be a force to reckon with, so to speak, this year, which is good to see the Roush cars coming back. The 6 car didn't have that great of a run this week, ran pretty decent in Atlanta. So it's going to be interesting.
Paul Rodriguez says it was 87 in Port St. Lucie today.
So we got 3 people watching from Florida.
Who's the third?
Somebody's trying to tell us something. Well, Paul.
Paul, Scott.
And Nick, Rolando.
Oh.
Nicholas.
Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah. Paul, Scott, and Nick. And then we got Terry from Oklahoma, and we got Tom from Indiana.
And we've got somebody from Texas.
And Rachel's
Jason's
from Charlotte.
Texas. Yeah. Originally, Rachel's not from Texas, but.
Oh, Jason, Super Jason's from Texas.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah. So, anybody have any questions? Go for it. You got any more questions?
I'm good for now.
All right.
I can come up with some more.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a little time.
I was just going to tell another thing.
Linda Jinx is from Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania. Okay. Another thing Joey was saying was that when you get out front, which he said there's the clean air, the cars have clean air and the handle's a lot better, and you have more grip because you don't have the air throwing you around. You're just kind of straight cutting the air, so to speak, and it's got all the full downforce. So he said new tires don't mean as much, but you're also a little bit slower because you don't have any of the draft to work with, which is pretty typical,
You got somebody named Richard Bain that just joined in.
Richard Bain, welcome
What are
to the
your
show.
memories of Dale Earnhardt?
Oh, I used to see Dale Earnhardt every weekend, and probably my biggest memories of seeing him. Teresa was always there with him, pretty much anywhere he was, and he kind of always had that. He always made you wonder what he was really thinking.
I thought your best memory was him running over your foot.
Yeah, well, yeah, he would cut it close in the pits, and he cut it so close to me one time he ran right over my foot, and then I was like, I almost stopped halfway in the pit stop. Said, "Hey, that was cool," but but then again,
I almost think Jeff Gordon did me.
Yeah.
Do what?
Yeah. almost run over my foot.
Oh, really?
Oh,
was
boy.
you there at the track? And
I was on the infield setting up for WSOC.
okay.
When they used to do the radio
Yeah.
broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
I was one of the engineers. For that.
Really? Okay. Well, that's cool.
Jeff Gordon, they had the little lines inside that you got to stay within.
Yes.
He missed it by about that much.
What year was this? Do you remember?
2001.
In 2001. Okay, because I was that was my last year going to the track.
Yeah, this is 2001.
Jeff Gordon was always really cool. Always liked Jeff. Yeah, well, that's neat.
Paul
We'll have to talk
Rodriguez
about
says,
WSOC,
how does
'cause
KB still run Toyota
I grew
engines
up
in
in
the truck
Charlotte.
series? Other teams should just stay home on the days he's there.
How does KB what?
Still run Toyota engines in the truck series.
Well, I mean, there's still one Ford team, Thor Motorsports. They still run it with Matt Crafton, still running the Ford engines. So somehow they got it worked out to where you can still run. I forgot what the deal was. They allowed you to start running those again, Fords and Toyota, your manufacturer, but there was some stipulation there. And I thought they took away power because the crate engines are built by Ilmore. Yeah, there was something to that, but I don't remember what it was. Oh, and you're talking about drivers again. And the other thing, Ricky Rudd, one time, he used to cut it kind of close too, and I've joked with him about this, but I ran my jack right in the side of his car one time. He got so close. I was actually kind of mad because I was like,
Ricky Rudd?
yeah, because I grabbed my jack and I took off to run forward, and there was a car right in front of me. So all I did is I said, hey, I'm going to use it. I just bounced the jack off, and then that took me, bounced the jack off the side of his car, and then shot me around the front of the car. So it actually
You
worked out
messed up
pretty
his
good.
aerodynamics.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing. I had to pull the right rear tire off, and we started, they started saying, well, we're actually running a little better. So, well, at first they said, man, after the race, that right rear fender's pulled out, quit hitting it with the tire. So I said, all right, I'll take it easy. And then whenever we wasn't running as good, they were like, hey, remember that thing you were doing with hitting the tire on there? Can you do that again? Because it actually seemed like it was helping. There's a bird in our house.
Bird.
My son just sent me a text message that said there's a bird in our house. You keep blocking me.
I'm not
You realize
blocking
that? Right here. There's a snake in my boots.
you. Lord.
Y'all ever heard that from
Toy Story.
yeah, from Toy Story? Remember that? I had all those characters.
Mhm.
They're gone now.
Somebody says, have you ever met Tom Petty?
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, or just I guess that's who you're talking about. Tom Petty?
What celebrities have you met?
Oh, what celebrities? Okay. I did not meet Tom Petty. I've met, and you can look on my Facebook and see some of my pictures in my racing pictures folder. I've met, Bill Goldberg, the wrestler. I've met Gene Simmons from Kiss.
He says not Tom Petty. He means Richard Petty. Yes, we've met Richard Petty several times.
Yeah.
David used to jack for Kyle.
Yeah, I jacked for Kyle, and then I did machine work for the Pettys and them. So, yeah, I saw Richard, we saw him a couple times last year.
Last year.
Yeah.
We actually had dinner with him.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I also went to Victory Junction, and I was talking to him there. And I was talking to him about Marty Robbins, the country singer that was also.
We went to a concert.
No, it's Marty Stewart. Marty Robbins passed away a long time ago.
Oops.
Marty Robbins was a country singer, a legendary NASCAR country singer, and also a NASCAR driver. He drove back in the 70s and some in the 80s. And so I asked him, I always thought it would be really cool to meet Marty Robbins. And
you met the beer man.
And I met the beer man, yeah. And so Richard Petty was telling me Marty Robbins was a great guy. He said he could drive a race car, and he just happened to be a country singer. He said he was a country singer that just happened to be able to drive a race car. I thought that was pretty cool. That would have been somebody. And, of course, the beer man, Scott Trevison. He's with us here now, and he's not on the show, obviously. But he was the beer man that would come around, do pit tours and stuff. He'd say, hey, everybody, there's 3-time All-Star Jackman, David Hamm. So he'd come over and bring a crowd and then start asking questions and stuff. Scott, everywhere we would go, we'd see those Coors banners hanging up at all the racetracks, no matter where we were, Bristol just remember seeing them
hanging up all down the side of the road and everything else. Scott, come to PSL. I'll bet you. Paul Rodriguez.
Scott, go to Port St. Lucie.
Well, you know, there's
Paul,
you guys
buy you a beer.
down there in Florida, and we'll be down there in a few weeks.
Right.
So looking forward to that. Getting down to some warm weather because it's been ridiculous. All this rain we've had.
Vitamin D.
Yeah. So everybody that's watching, don't forget. I know most of you probably have to subscribe and like this video if you like it, and stay tuned. Hit that bell notification.
If you don't like it anyway.
To stay tuned for future every Monday night at 7:30. We're going to do NASCAR chats. It's a little out of sorts this week because I'm not in my shop, but you know, we're here in the radio.
His second home.
Yeah, because you know this is a pretty cool place, and I get to come in here and have some fun. But there it is, downtown Statesville, WAME 92.9, 550
a.m.
5:50 a.m. That's right.
For you out-of-towners.
And thanks to Billy Buck for letting me use this studio. But the reason for using the studio is because I had rehearsals for the Tom Dooley project. Get your tickets on eventbrite.com. You're going to be in Statesville. But yeah, there's that guy right there. That's why I'm
Scott
going back
says,
out
love you, mean
so
it.
I can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
I love the beard.
Hurry
and
back, but I know
mustache.
you won't. You'll be down there for another, 2 months? Be down there.
You'll have to visit us when we go down.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. So he'll be down there for at least another month.
Yeah. So, off the wall question.
Yes.
If we could get anybody locally that's been in NASCAR of some sort to come on the show, who would you want to see?
Yeah, who would you want to see? Well, I know one that I can get pretty
Name.
quick. Well, Hut Strickland, but he's pretty busy. He works all the time.
Who would you all want on the show?
Yeah. But you got to think. The drivers, I should have Team Penske. Yeah. I should have through the
Ford
winter
driver.
went ahead and did some more and had some of the drivers come in. Over the winter time, it's a lot easier to get a hold of them because they're at home. But that's a lot of times that's when they go on their vacations. You know, they're so busy, they're traveling all the time and stuff. I've talked to Ricky Red about coming on sometime.
What about my dad?
Yeah, Doug Yates would be a good one. I could get Tracy's dad. Well, do you think he'd come out here?
We might have to go down there.
But yeah, I might have to do like an on location with Doug at some point. You know, I can do it just like doing it right here. Yeah. Doug Yates and Tracy's dad, yeah, because Tracy's dad worked for Holman and Moody back in the day.
That's where he started.
He started there, 1962, I believe, or 3,
I think it was
until 71. No, his last year there was like 71, I believe. I thought that was what he said. I'm pretty sure because I've got the book and it's got his picture in it. And then her grandfather also worked there, and her grandfather drove. Do you know what racetrack that was at?
I don't remember.
Metrolina, maybe. He drove for.
And got injured.
And he got injured, so you know who knows if he would have went on to be a driver. And then her grandmother was an Earnhardt.
On my mom's side.
Somehow, well, I definitely know they're related to Dale Earnhardt. But what I saw was they were like 5th or 6th cousins.
Mm-hmm.
But her her uncle says, what did he say?
He remembers going to Richard's garage. Not Richard.
Richard Childress?
Dale's brother? Somebody. I don't know. He remembers going to a garage.
Yes, Ralph, probably.
Ralph, yeah.
Ralph
That's
Earnhardt.
right.
He remembers going to his garage, so who knows?
And my uncle's in
Check
his
it out.
70s.
Yeah.
So it was when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So far we've got just basically Doug Yates. Somebody says the drivers, any Ford drivers, but that's going to be a little hard.
Yeah.
With the season, they travel a lot.
Mm-hmm. All right. Steve Baker's on. Steve, you recognize this place? I'd say so.
Has Steve been here?
No, yeah, he actually been here. Actually, Steve came and
He says, yep.
Yeah, Steve came and Steve was sitting right outside the window there.
Oh, was I here that day?
I don't know. Here's the.
My dad's name is Ken Thompson.
that big car thing too.
You need to get me one of those.
Just,
Your
I need to get you-
outside ankle bracelet
yeah. Here's the board.
and
Board
the
fame.
famous deer.
And the deer. That's my deer that I started out. The first time we used the deer was
In a parade.
in a parade. Put them on the front of my tractor. The old Chillbilly's 1952 Ford 8N tractor. He was hanging on there in an Christmas parade downtown Statesville. And then we did an Independence Day parade in Troutman. So anyway, Kevin Harvick would be a cool
interview.
Yeah, he would. Maybe I can get his crew chief would be probably a little easier to get in. But I also met, let's see, Winona Judd. Like I said, you'll have to go on my Facebook.
Wrestler. Who's the black guy?
I met Disco Inferno. I met Booker T. The Bill Goldberg. You talking about? You have to go on my Facebook and check them out.
No, the black guy. He was in with the black guy. Big muscular black guy.
I don't know. John Brown.
Maybe that's who.
Jim Brown. Oh heck, I don't even know.
Football player.
The football player. Yeah, the running back. You remember his name? Jim Brown. I think it was Jim Brown.
Mike.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then a lot of them I forgot about. A lot of them I got pictures with. Some of them I didn't. That's the way it goes. I
Check
didn't
out
have
his
my
Facebook
cell
page.
phones back whenever I was on the track, or they had them, but I didn't have one. But
Poor
it's on my Facebook page, and so anyway, check that out. And then also you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DHAM. That's DHA with 2 M's IAM, and of course here on YouTube. So
Anybody got questions?
any more questions? We're gonna wrap it up. I think it's about time for us to get to the house. Maybe get a
Bite to eat.
Yeah.
We went to the race in Winston, Mad Bowl.
Used to be in Statesville, but I think they moved. David Reagan.
Reagan.
Yeah, they were down the street here on 64, but now they're down in Mooresville, right near us. I actually I was in the shop and I saw David last week. You two, Nick, have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. But I was in the shop and David come up to me and we started talking about. I asked him how he liked his spark shower there at Daytona, because he was underneath the 10 car, and I said, yeah, Darryl was joking about how you could see what springs that the 10 car was running, and he said, yeah, I could see his trailing arms, I could see the hole underneath the car. And he said it's just it's got a little bright with the sparks flying around and stuff. So he's a cool guy. He's a cool guy, cool driver. So anyway, we'll see you everybody later. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe and
Steve
share.
Says he didn't get an alert.
Tell
You
your
need
friends.
to hit your little bell.
Yeah, turn on that bell notification, Steve. That way you will know next time. And I didn't send as many messages out because I had rehearsal and whatever. So,
We're busy.
but share the videos, tell your friends. Y'all can tune in next time and ask all the questions you want. And next time I'll probably be back in my shop doing it. Hopefully it'll be warm enough I can open up the doors. And so there we go.
And in 3 weeks, we'll broadcast from Daytona.
Oh yeah, in 3 weeks we'll be down in Daytona. Maybe I can get over to the racetrack and do it live from there. So anyway, but Steve, you can go back and watch it again. And if anybody has any more questions, go back and watch the video. As soon as I clear it out, it uploads. You can go back and rewatch it, and you can put any questions you got on there. As long as they're not too technical, I can answer them. You know what I'm saying? But I do have my confidentiality with my job and that kind of stuff. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. You got anything else?
All right. Love y'all, mean it.